Hey, it's Bobi aka Paginator, and it's time for June TBR. So you guys voted for me to do TBR Pursuit in the style of Jade from JD Ray Reads. So I have spent quite a bit of time making some TBR Pursuit cards with lots of prompts and stuff. I got a great big stack of them. And we're gonna go out to the desk to do some rolling, and we'll talk about books and so on and so forth. There will be 12 picks, and hopefully I will get to all of them in the month of June. Okay, before I do roll number 1, I am just gonna point out a couple of things. I have no way to get the entire game board in frame because of my camera setup and the camera that I'm using, so I am sorry. I will be filling up 2 pies, which will give us 12 rolls. That's a couple more than our usual 10, but since it's summertime, I'm okay with that. So we'll start with the orange pie, and we'll just go ahead and do roll number 1. 3. I can go any direction I want to, and because this game is inspired by Jade, I am gonna go this way and start with a middle grade because she often does that when she plays. Jade almost always starts with a middle grade. Very rare that she doesn't. And yeah, I know she doesn't really play this anymore, but when she did. Okay, so our middle grade prompt for this one is a book that is rarely spoken of. Oh boy. Okay, so number 1 got us a middle grade that is rarely spoken of, and this prompt is one that I got from Jade, and I take that to mean a book that I haven't heard a lot about either online or from other readers, etc. So I have The Winterborn Home for Vengeance and Valor by Ally Carter. April didn't mean to start the fire. She wasn't the one who broke the vase. April didn't go ask to live in a big, creepy mansion with a bunch of orphans who just don't understand that April isn't like them. After all, April's mother is coming back for her someday very soon. All April has to do is find the clues her mother left inside the massive mansion. But Winterborn House is hiding more than one secret, so April and her friends are going to have to work together to unravel the riddle of a missing heir, a creepy legend, and a mysterious key before the only home they've ever known is lost to them forever. This is the first in a series, and the second one is called Winterborn Home for Mayhem and Mystery. So if this is good, I will be looking for the next one. I don't know if you can tell, but Sheldon, my library shark, is really excited. He's all lit up today. He knows that Shark Week is going to be coming soon. It's not in June, but if what I've seen online is true, it is in July, like early July this summer. Roll number 2. 3 again. So I'm going to try to move the board around in the frame, sorry. Ink dauber there. 1, 2, 3 is going to bring me to yellow. Yellow is fantasy, and this prompt says adventure. So fantasy with an adventure, and a yellow pie goes in there. Roll number 2, we got a fantasy that's also adventurous or has an adventure. So I am going to be reading Skandar and the Chaos Trials by A.F. Stedman. This is book 3 in the Skandar and the Unicorn Thief series. And you may have seen this in a recent haul. With series, I don't like to tell you, read the synopsis of the specific book, but I will tell you that it is about a young man named Skandar who, despite being kind of outcast and told he's never going to have a chance to be a unicorn rider, does end up getting to be a unicorn rider. And he finds out all kinds of secrets, including family secrets, society secrets, secrets to do with unicorns, and much, much more. There's lots of battles in the sky upon unicorns and other fun things. Friendship, family, all kinds of stuff. This is a middle grade series, and I highly, highly recommend it. Roll number 3. 1. Brown, brown, or brown. Let's go this way. Brown pie in there, and our prompt for realistic is gold or silver on the cover. Realistic with gold or silver on the cover? What was I thinking when I made these prompts? Roll number 3 got us a realistic fiction with gold or silver on the cover. Now, I thought I was not going to be able to find something, but I did, and I'm very excited about it. So, it is The Women by Kristen Hanna. Did you see this gold here? You can't see it maybe as well on camera, but it is gold, not just yellow. It is actually gold. And this is historical fiction, but it is realistic, and Kristen Hanna is just phenomenal. So here comes the blurb. Women can be heroes. When 20-year-old nursing student Frankie McGrath hears these words, it's a revelation. Raised in the sun-drenched, idyllic world of Southern California and sheltered by her conservative parents, she has always prided herself on doing the right thing. But in 1965, the world is changing, and she suddenly dares to imagine a different future for herself. When her brother ships out to serve in Vietnam, she joins the Army Nurse Corps and follows his path. As green and inexperienced as the men sent to Vietnam to fight, Frankie is overwhelmed by the chaos and destruction of war. Each day is a gamble of life and death, hope and betrayal. Friendships run deep and can be shattered in an instant. In war, she meets and becomes one of the lucky, the brave, the broken, and the lost. But war is just beginning for Frankie and her veteran friends. The real battle lies in coming home to a changed and divided America, to angry protesters, to a country that wants to forget Vietnam. The Women is a story of one woman gone to war, but it shines a light on all women who put themselves in harm's way and whose sacrifice and commitment to their country has too often been forgotten. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't read a lot of fiction set in the Vietnam War era, so I'm a little bit nervous about that just because I don't know much about this. Of course, I minored in history in college and stuff, and I know some of the horrible things that happened there, but you know, I don't know as much about this war as, say, like, World War II. So, I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be great. It's Kristen Hanna. Roll number 4. 2. 2 to brown or 2 to blue. Let's go to blue. Blue pie in there. And blue blank, our prompt is... So our blue prompt is a book with a map. Roll number 4, we got blue blank, which is genreless, and it says a book with a map. So I just started grabbing books and I would flip them open to see if I could find a map, and I found one inside this book here. This is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli, and this is a book that I have multiple copies of because both book boxes that I get chose to feature it. But anyway, this says, Enemies to Lovers doesn't get more high stakes than a witch and a witch hunter falling in love in best-selling author Kristen Ciccarelli's latest romantic fantasy. On the night Rune's life changed forever, blood ran in the streets. Now in the aftermath of a devastating revolution, witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and Rune must hide what she is. Spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite, Rune spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. When a rescue goes wrong, she decides to throw the witch hunters off her scent and gain the intel she desperately needs by courting the handsome Gideon Sharp. He's a notorious and unforgiving witch hunter loyal to the revolution, and too late, Rune realizes she might be falling for him. Gideon loathes the decadence and superficiality Rune represents, but when he learns the Crimson Moth has been using Rune's merchant ships to smuggle renegade witches out of the Republic, he inserts himself into her social circles by pretending to court her. He soon realizes that beneath her beauty and shallow facade is someone fiercely intelligent and tender who feels like his perfect match. Except what if she's the very villain he's been hunting? One more look at the pretty cover. This is the Owlcrate edition. The Fairy Loot edition put a different title on the book, which was really annoying. Roll number 5. Why do we keep rolling these low numbers? I don't know. Let's go to pink. Pink pie in there. Pink is YA, and our prompt is a book with high stakes. Roll number 5 is a YA book with high stakes. So I'm going to be reading Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faizal. I have 2 copies of it. This one I bought at Barnes & Noble, and this one came in a book box. And this one doesn't have the synopsis printed on it, but I wanted to hold up both covers because they're just nice. So we'll read from this one. Why save the world when you can have tea? On the streets of White Roaring, Arthi Casimir is a criminal mastermind and a collector of secrets. Her prestigious tea room transforms into an illegal bloodhouse by night, catering to the vampires feared by society. But when her establishment is threatened, Arthi is forced to strike an unlikely deal with an alluring adversary to save it, and she can't do the job alone. Calling on some of the city's most skilled outcasts, Arthi hatches a plan to infiltrate the sinister, glittering vampire society known as the Aetherium. But not everyone in her ragtag crew is on her side, and as the truth behind the heist unfolds, Arthi finds herself in the midst of a conspiracy that will threaten the world as she knows it. Vampires and tea. Roll number 6. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4 green. I don't know, something in me is wanting it to go green. 1, 2, 3, 4, green. And this time we have continue a series. Rule number 6 is middle grade continuous series, and so I'm going to be reading Jungle Drop by Abby Elphinstone. So this is the second book in the Unmapped Chronicles series. I recently read book number 1, which was Rumble Star, and it was a really fun middle grade adventure kind of series. And in the Unmapped Chronicles, we have a character in the first one who's a young man who is kind of bullied at school when treated badly, and he manages to escape a particular bully, but ends up going into this magical place called the Unmapped Worlds, and he goes to Rumble Star and ends up helping to save the world that controls the weather for our world as well. I don't know, there's a lot that goes into it, but in the second one, we have kind of different characters. We have Fox and Fibber, who are twins, and they have been rivals for long as they can remember, and they know that only one of them will inherit the family fortune. They're whisked off to Jungle Drop, which is one of the unmapped kingdoms, and they have to join forces in a race against time to track down the long-lost Forever Fern. So this should be a fun continuation of that series, or at least I hope so. Rule number 7, 1, orange, or roll again. We haven't done an orange yet, but we are full pie. So we're going to move our second pie mover here and pop an orange slice there. To be fair, orange and blue categories are very similar, but that's okay. We have a graphic novel, manga, or comic. Okay, roll number 7 got us orange or miscellaneous. I know that's kind of the same category as blue blank, but we're going with it because those were the categories that I came up with. So for orange miscellaneous, we got a graphic novel, manga, or comic, and I am going to continue the Zelda Twilight Princess series. This is volume 2. I read volume 1 in the month of May and enjoyed it so far. In the first volume, we meet Link, our main character, and we learn about the history of the world and how there's kind of this force that's threatening the world, and we know that Link has been keeping secrets for some of the people that he lives with in the village that he's come to be in, and there's things that I probably shouldn't tell you, so we'll just go with that much. Roll number 8. 3. 1, 2, 3 pink, 1, 2, 3 brown, 1, 2, 3 pink this way. Let's go back up here. Pink pie in there for YA, and animal on the cover. Rule number 8, we have a YA with an animal on the cover, and I'm going to be picking up a chunky book that I have been wanting to read for quite a long time. This is Spice Road by Maya Ibrahim. It does have this beautiful bird on the cover, and I've had this for quite a while. It came in a book box. Look at these sprayed edges, just ooh, gorgeous. In the hidden desert city of Qualia, a secret spice magic awakens the affinities of those who drink the misery tea. With her affinity for iron, 17-year-old Imani can wield a dagger like no other, and for that she has gained a reputation as the next greatest shield, battling jinn, ghouls, and the other monsters spreading across the sands. But ever since her brother was discovered stealing their nation's coveted spice, a telltale sign of magical obsession, and disappeared into the deadly forbidden wastes, Imani's reputation has been in tatters. Despite Aether's betrayal, there isn't a day that goes by that she doesn't grieve him. Then Imani discovers that signs that her brother may be alive and spreading their nation's magic to outsiders. Desperate to find him and to protect him, she joins a mission sent to hunt him down. Accompanied by Taha, a powerful beast seer who enthralls and enrages her in equal measure, Imani soon discovers that many secrets lie beyond the forbidden wastes and in her own heart. Caught between her duty to her nation and her love for her brother, Imani must decide where her loyalties lie before it's too late. I have heard very good things about this one, so I'm very excited to get to it. Roll number 9. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roll again. I kind of want some more realistic fiction, so let's go back to brown. A brown pie in there. Wild card. Ooh. Number 9, realistic wild card, which is basically I can pick any book I want, and I have a book that I really want to read. It is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I read Part of Your World by her and just kind of devoured it. It was like less than 24 hours, maybe even less than 12 hours that I read this book. It was so, so good. It is adult romance. And so this is the next book. From what I understand, it's a series, but they're kind of companions. They don't follow the same main characters, but they're all adult romances. I also have the third one, which is just for the summer. So hopefully I'll be able to get to that one too as a bonus pick, maybe. Cross your fingers for me. But let's read what this one is about. Dr. Brianna Ortiz's life seriously flatlining. Her divorce is just about finalized. Her brother's running out of time to find a kidney donor, and that promotion she wants, oh, that's probably going to the new man doctor who's already registering the 80-7 on Brianna's pain in my ass scale. But just when all systems are set to hate, Dr. Jacob Maddox completely flips the game by sending Brianna a letter. And it's a really good letter, like the kind that proves that Jacob isn't actually Satan. Worse, he might be this fantastically funny and subversively likable guy who's terrible at first impressions, because suddenly he and Bri are exchanging letters, sharing lunch dates in her sob closet, and discussing the merits of freakishly tiny horses. But when Jacob decides to give Brianna the best gift imaginable, a kidney for her brother, she wonders just how she can resist this quietly sexy new doctor, especially when he calls in a favor she can't refuse. Wow. Again, I've heard good things about this one as well, and from what I hear from the Daunties, which is actually a mostly Disney-based channel, but they do talk about books, there's a really funny grandpa character in this one. Rule number 10. Can you see our little mover guy hiding up here in the shadow? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back to pink. Let's go to blue again. Blue pie in there. And my card deck. Ooh, yay. So that means I'll be pulling a card from my TBR deck that I made ages and ages ago. Roll number 10, we got blue blank, so genreless, and we have to pick something from my card deck. So I've got my deck of cards in this little Scottish shortbread tin here. They're square cards, so they fit just nicely here. And we're just going to give them a good shuffle and pick a card and then see if we can find a book to match it. What does that say? Read a book where the main character has a disability. Okay, so disability rep. This might take a little bit, so I'm going to pause you and be back in a minute. Okay, that did take a little bit of time, and what I have is a book where a character has a disability, and that's just gonna have to do. So it is the reappearance of Rachel Price, and apparently one of the characters, the grandfather, has dementia. So there we go. You probably heard of this book before. It's been very buzzy lately. I don't know if that's a word, but anyway. This says, lights, camera, lies. 18-year-old Belle has lived her whole life in the shadow of her mom's mysterious disappearance. 16 years ago, Rachel Price vanished and young Belle was the only witness, but she has no memory of it. Rachel is gone, long presumed dead, and Belle wishes everyone would just move on. But the case is dragged up from the past when the Price family agrees to a true crime documentary. Belle can't wait for filming to end, for life to go back to normal, and then the impossible happens. Rachel Price reappears, and life will never be normal again. Rachel has an unbelievable story about what happened to her. Unbelievable because Belle isn't sure it's real. If Rachel is lying, then where has she been all this time? And could she be dangerous? With the camera still rolling, Belle must uncover the truth about her mother and find out why Rachel Price really came back from the dead. So this is by Holly Jackson. I recently read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, finally, and really, really enjoyed it. So probably going to be continuing that series hopefully soon as well. Even though it's summer, how do I have time to read all the stuff I want to read? I don't. Anyway, there we go. That's going to be the pick for this one. Roll number 11. 1. So we have pink YA or roll again. Most of what I read is going to be YA anyway. Might as well just hit the YA category. Oops. There we go. And for this card, a book that is rarely spoken of. Wow. We got that for 2 different categories this time. For roll number 11, we got a YA that's rarely spoken of. And so for this one, I'm going to choose a recent acquisition. You also saw this in my latest haul. This is Emmett by Elsie Rosen. I had never heard of this book till I saw it sitting on the shelves in Barnes & Noble. It is a gender-bent LGBT plus twist on Emma by Jane Austen. So our main character is Emmett instead of Emma. And Here's what this says. Emmett Woodhouse is handsome, clever, and rich with very little to vex him. Emmett knows he's blessed, and because of that, he tries to give back by doing charity work, like letting the often irritating Georgia sit at his lunch table. Recently, he's found a new philanthropic endeavor, matchmaking. So when his friend with benefits, Harrison, starts saying he wants a boyfriend, something Emmett definitely does not want to be, Emmett decides to try to find Harrison the perfect man at Highbury Academy. Finding a boyfriend for the guy you sleep with might be considered by some to be a bad idea, but Emmett isn't worried. He keeps things clean with no attachments. Besides, he's seen what loss can do, and he's not interested in letting it happen to him again. But even Emmett can't control everything, and as he tries to find Harrison a match, he learns that as gifted as he may be, he has no idea what he's doing when it comes to love. So this is described as modern, whip smart, and very gay, which is perfect for June, right? Pride Month. Our last roll number 12, is going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 green, 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow. We've only done 1 yellow so far, and we already have 2 greens, so I'm going to scoot it over here. Let's see if I can get this somewhat. Okay, can you see? Right there. So we run the pink, and we went 1, 2, 3, 4 to this yellow. Yellow pie in there, and a fantasy my card deck. Are you kidding me? Maybe I didn't shuffle these cards very well. I'm so sorry. And roll number 12, we're coming back to my deck of cards. We have to find a fantasy that fits the prompt. So if the first prompt I pull just does not work at all whatsoever for fantasy, then I will be pulling another card. Let's hope that the first one works, because I don't want to spend my entire Sunday afternoon searching through my shelves. All right, here we go. What have we got here? Read a book that features something you love to do. Okay, a fantasy book that features something I love to do. Okay, I found one. It's a little bit of a stretch, but we're gonna make it work. So, it is The Poison Season by Mariah Rutherford. Yes, I love to poison people. No. No, how this fits in is that this is set in the woods and near a lake, and I love being in the woods. Like, recently, I've been, like, fantasizing about, like, just finding a cabin in the woods somewhere to rent for a while and just go stay there. Write, or craft, or read, or just be. Like, I'm not rich enough to actually do it, because cabins that you can actually rent in the woods are way expensive, but it will be so lovely. And I will be going camping this summer a few times. And yeah, anyway. Yes, so that's the connection here. But let's read about The Poison Season. Outsiders are always given a choice, the forest or the lake. Either way, they're never heard from again. Lilo has spent her entire life on Endla, coexisting with the bloodthirsty forest and respecting the poisonous lake that protects her island from outsiders who seek to destroy it. But as much as Lilo cares for her community, she struggles to accept that her younger brother will be exiled by his next birthday unless he gains the magic of enchanted song so vital to Endla. When Lilo sees a young outsider on the verge of drowning in the lake, she knows exactly what she's supposed to do. But in a moment that will change everything, Lilo betrays her family, her best friend, and Endla by making an unthinkable choice. Discovery could lead to devastating consequences for both Lilo and the outsider Jaren, but as they grow closer, Lilo realizes that not all danger comes from beyond the lake, and they can only survive if Lilo is willing to question the very fabric of her society, her people, and herself. Maybe I will read this while I am at a lake, because there's at least 2 times this summer I'm going to be camping by a lake. I think one of them's in June. All right, before we wrap up this video, I do want to mention one other thing, and this is going to require some comments on you guys' part. So every year I do a summer reading challenge for the students at my school. So we have grades 6, 7, and 8 at our school, so we give this to the kids that are going to be coming into those grades, so the 5th, 6th, and 7th graders currently. And this year it is Adventures in Bookland. We start here, and then you have to make choices as you go through to follow the path, and each spot on the path prompts you to read a different kind of book. Also, in the past, I have offered you versions of my school reading challenge for you guys to use during the summer. So what you need to do is let me know in the comments below if you are interested in getting a version of this challenge to do. It would be just for fun. There are no prizes involved or that kind of thing other than like bragging rights. But please, please, please let me know, because if I don't see any comments, I'm just going to assume that you don't want it. So there you go. That is going to be it for this TBR video. June will be a fun month for me. I, of course, am off of teaching. I have earned my vacation this year, I'll tell you what, you guys. So yeah, June is going to be an awesome month. Hopefully be some great reading, hopefully some crafting, and hopefully you guys have an awesome June as well. So let me know in the space below how your reading's going, and especially let me know about that Adventures in Bookland Reading Challenge, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.